there guys, this is Malorian, and this is going to be kind of a Warmachine 101 taken to the next level. So in the last Warmachine 101 I got a wonderful question that wanted to ask about drawing up the battle line. And I did my best explaining in there how you kind of do it, and at the end of it, honestly, guys, I wasn't happy with my response. It's really something you kind of need to see on the board to know what I'm talking about. I did my best to talk about how it's like chess, how you really want to make sure that you're trying to find the right counters and planning ahead. But really, unless you put some examples to that, it's going to be really hard to try and consider it. So what I got here is I got a few different examples, and we're going to go through them, and then at the end, hopefully, there'll be a better idea. All right, so in each of these, I'm going to be having the initial deployment and then the first turn of each side. As you can see how each side is kind of setting up the battle line, but I'm going to be mainly narrating it from my side. So in this first scenario here, I am running a Kane 1 tier. You can see I have a bajillion gun mages in this list. It's pretty hilarious. And I am up against, on the other side, a bunch of trolls. Now, with the scenario, I do have to kind of wonder a bit about making sure that he doesn't go and just starts dominating on his one flag there on the right. A lot of my forces here do not want to be up the board. However, thanks to my push shots, I can kind of push things out of the way. These gun mages are fast and high defense, so they can jam if needed. The storm wall can throw a pot up to contest if needed. So scenario, not the hugest deal. My biggest thing is that I need to give myself room to shoot things down and to also make sure that these burrowers coming up, I make sure that the central part of this zone here is going to be prepared for them to come in. Now, what that's going to be looking then, if I'm planning ahead to kind of see where I believe this battle line will be, it's going to be fairly close to my side. Kind of like where my close wall is, pretty much straight across, that's going to be where it's at. Maybe on the flanks I push a little bit more up, but I'm going to be playing this pretty far back. So you can see here from my first turn, that's where I'm kind of going. I'm going to the wall. Now, of course, you want to go as far up as you can in the first turn because you can always fall back. But this is how it's really going to look, where in the middle, that's going to be really just like the storm wall with his covering fire, and then the gun mages are kind of on the flanks, and then they're probably going to be holding a little bit back. And on his turn, you can see that the burrowers are going to burrow, and that he played this a little bit more defensively. For his part here, he intends the battle line to be up in my grill, but of course, at this early stage of the game, he needs to be further back to reduce the losses, knowing that next turn he can run right into me. Now, of course, here I'd have the option that if I wanted to, some of my gun mages could run right up there, and I could draw that line of battle right where he is right now. Because he did not advance, I could go all the way up to where he is right now. However, that'd be probably a very poor decision because of his burrowers coming up. They would burrow up behind my guys, get back strikes and all these awesome things, and it would not end up well. So for me, when I want to draw this battle line, it's going to be pretty much back here, if not even further back, just because I am the ranged army. Alright, we're now going on to example number 2. I am running the same list in this one, but now I'm up against a Terminus list with a whole bunch of Banes. And really in this part here, it's a real huge advantage to me. All these Banes normally don't like being shot. The guys who have stealth don't like being shot by my UA unit that can ignore stealth. So this is just a really bad situation for him. Really, the scenario will be a non-factor just because I will be shooting him down so quick. In fact, if scenario is coming in at all, it's probably going to be me wiping things out and then going to a flag. So I don't need to push up because of that reason. I really just need to shoot these things as they come in. It's kind of like shooting fish in a barrel. So I'm going to get first turn, and I'm going to move up pretty much as far as I can, knowing that he has no threat on me. He can run up, and I'm just going to start shooting. I'm making sure that Kane 1 is far up there so he can feet and teleport back, but I am basically just saying that he is going to be coming up to me and will be shot. Now for him, he just runs straight up. Now, we saw in the last one where he wanted to stay back a bit, be a little bit defensive, but a big difference between that list and this list is that the other one can be a lot faster, it has reach. This list here doesn't have that. I mean, sure, the Bane Knights have reach, but unless I proc up Vengeance or something, he's not going to get any of that super speed. He really just wants to get into me as fast as possible. There is no negatives to bunching together, so his list literally just runs up. Where he wants the line of battle to be is right at my line, and where I want this to be is almost like a no man's zone. I just want to go on this turn, shoot everything down, and then whatever rare thing gets through, deal with that after. But it's really, this is a thing where he wants the line of battle at me, and I want this. I want this wide no man's zone where I'm just going to be shooting everything down. Alright, let's get away from those shooty lists, get to something else, and now this is a Kane 2 list with my jam style list, and I am up against a Legion of Everblight player who is running Lilith 2. This is a very dangerous, a very shooty one, and the scenario is Incursion. Now, with this here, I have every reason to get up to him as fast as possible. This list is, first of all, designed to go forward and to get onto these objectives and flags as fast as possible, and because he's such a shooty army, I need to get in there to engage his Ravagors as soon as possible. Now, one thing I'll have to be very careful with this line of battle I'll be drawing is the center. Whereas on the flanks, I can really push up hard. In the center, I'll have to be a little bit more careful because Zerial is there with his 2 sprays. So really, my line of battle wants to be as close as possible, but it's almost going to be kind of a U, where if you could imagine this from the one hill, it's going to come down to where that wall is and back over to the other wall. That's kind of where I want the line of battle to be. So on his turn, he's going to come up. He's going to try and get whatever he can. He's now kind of in the same situation where I was previously, where he wants to come up and try and shoot me. So he doesn't really want to come up. He wants to just set up for assassination feat later. And so on my turn, you can see here how really I'm kind of pushing up on either flanks and trying to get into him as best I can. Now, when you look at this line of battle and you can kind of see what I'm going for here, you can really notice that I'm trying to get in his face and I'm just trying to engage everything. And you can see how Kane has moved more to the left side, and that my gun mages on that side have pulled away as well. And so what I'm really trying to do here is set up for a line of battle that's going to be in his face, but again, more like a U. I don't think I'm going to be controlling that center flag. It's going to be the outer flags. So I'm going to be having Alexia up there to get a bunch of corpses. Later on, I'm going to be, after the feat, trying to tie everything up. But the left gun mages are further back so that if anything gets near the flag, they can push it away. I can always charge up and teleport to the flag with Kane 2 if I wanted to. And of course, on the right flag, I'll be in a position to score on that flag as well. So it's really trying to, if you look at this really right now, it looks like the line of battle is a straight across line. But when I'm planning it, again, it's like a U where I'm really pushing on the flanks, and the center I don't really plan to be dominating because I got Zerial there who will be killing so quickly. Old Rowdy will hopefully be fixing that for me, but, you know, he might just beat me off anyway. Alright, next scenario here, this one is going to be now just the 2 flags again, and it's going to be still my Kane 2 list, but this time up against a Runes of War list. And if you really look to see where he's deployed, he has been deploying heavily on the right side. So with that, knowing that I'm a fast army and looking at the terrain, seeing as how I have that building for me on the left side, I really want to have a line of battle that is going to be really kind of using his walls against him. I want my line of battle to be right up there at his walls and then swinging in onto the left side, almost entrapping him in that zone so that I can come over and start dominating on my friendly flag. So on his turn, he's going to be moving up to the walls. And then on my turn, I'm going to be trying to spring on him. So again, Kane 2 starting to work his way to that left flag, everything moving up, making a few attacks, but really trying to set this up here so that, sure, he can come into me and he can attack around my flag, but I'm just going to continue to jam. And the press gangers on the left, their intention is next turn to really swing around and trap everything he has there, so that really the line of battle really goes between that hill to that forest and swings around to really entrap him in that zone. So that will be the line of battle that I'm looking for. Alright, on to the next scenario here, and this one will be Kane 2 versus Striker 3. Now, this one again, same jam list, but when I look at this, I can really see and have to worry about the Storm Lances on the right. The Storm Lances can go very far, they can go very fast, so I'm going to have to be very careful to not be pretty much crushed by them. So looking at this then, what I'm probably going to do is I want to be pushing up the line of battle so that it is past the red zone. I'm going to be moving up, trying to get past that, and so I can start scoring on the black zone. And meanwhile, I'll be more defensive on the green zone to try and minimize the damage he can do to me, hoping more to contest that zone than anything else. So on my first turn, that's what I'm going to do. You can see this line of battle where on the left side, I'm pushing up really hard, and on the right side, I'm being more defensive, and knowing too as well that if he comes at me very quickly, Kane 2 is there to try and take them out. And so on his turn then, he's going to be trying to shift up the best he can. He's trying to consolidate in. He's trying to find and set up these charges with the Storm Lances. But again, even now going forward, I'm going to be very, very careful on the right, trying to throw up a few models just to try and jam them up. But really, I'll be pushing hard on the left side because that's what I really want to be going for. I want to go for this left side. I want to be going for this left zone. In fact, if you were to draw a line on this one, it'd probably be going running across where that wall is. And I'm wanting to be more here on the left, not so much on the right. In fact, I have gun mages on the right, not so much so that they can shoot, but just so they can go up into contest later. Alright, now we're on to this next one here, and this will be a Thexus list that was up against Assyria on the other side, and this is one where, this is not a more recent one, so I talked about before, but something you don't see here is that I'm going to be having models coming in from the flanks. So what I'm going to want to do is trying to encourage him to go more to the flanks so that my ambushers can come in and do the most damage possible. So I'm almost going to be pushing very hard on the center and leaving the flanks open to allow him and to encourage him to go to those flanks. So on his turn, he's moving straight up, kind of what you'd expect. And on my side, you could see that that's what I'm doing. I'm pushing very hard on the center. I'm leaving the flanks really wide open. I even have my overlords there as tempting little offerings for why don't you come over here and shoot me. Really, again, trying to say move out to the flanks, spread out so that my ambushers can come in here and get you. Now, really, when you're looking at this line of battle, it's going to be a crazy one because I am planning to be here really on the flanks, pushing in the middle, and off to the flanks. You're going to get like this weird squiggle type thing, but in the end, this is not going to be one where I'm really going for scenario until maybe late game. It really has to be an attrition game and setting up for that attrition. Alright, next game here, this will be my Bart list up against Doomy 3, and in this one here, it's really more of a standoffish one. Looking at the scenario here, I know I can be very defensive. I don't really need to get up there all that much, and I really need to buy myself time to deal with that Mountain King. So really, if you were to draw a line of battle where I want this to happen, it'll be pretty much equal with my side of the zone. Just enough to contest, but nothing seriously going forward. In fact, I might even bring that line of battle further back, let him get a few points, if it's going to allow me to get what I need on his Mountain King to get this attrition going. So on my turn, I'm going to be going up to that line and really have almost no intentions to go any more forward. And on his turn, he's going to be moving up to here. And again, I don't plan to go any further up. I just want to shoot that Mountain King. I want to do lots of damage to it and really kind of wait for him to come to me. I'm the one with the range advantage. I'm the one who wants to start off the peace trade with the Earthbreaker going into, not the Earthbreaker, the Galleon going into the Mountain King. So I want to be as far back as possible. I am not thinking this will be a scenario. I am really thinking this will be an attrition. Finally, last scenario I have here, I thought I'd throw in a circle one, and this one here will be Epic Kaya versus Butcher. Now, this will be an interesting one because, first of all, it is going to be with Epic Kaya. This is actually an older one, so the scenario is a little bit wonky here. You're not used to it. It's a 2014 one, I believe. Anyway, Butcher, with all these Kayazi and different things here, can really charge me hard and hit me really hard. So that'll be a very dangerous thing to happen. Meanwhile, what I want to do is I want to get in there, I want to kill a lot of stuff, then I want to feat, and I want to come back. So where I want the initial line of battle to be is as far up as forward. I want to first engage him when he is up near his objective. I want to hit him hard, I want to hit him fast, and then pull back. And then after that, depending on how things go, that's where I'm going to determine whether I want to be going more for the left zone or the right zone. But that's why I also have those Feral Geist there. No matter what zone I'm not going for, I will have a Feral Geist that can go up and contest the other one. And so then I can draw back that line of battle because I have those contesting models, and I can really fight over one zone and really try and score there. So I'm going to push up hard, knowing that as soon as he moves up, I want to try and charge him right away. This fence is really causing a lot of issues with that, but still, that's the plan. And then otherwise, he's going to come up like this here. So he is pretty much up where I want him. Maybe at some points there I might try like setting in the Stalker right now, try and do some damage, feet come back, something like that. But again, I want to try and hit him hard, hit him fast, and then pull back. So that really, the line of battle, this will be a shifting one that starts over by him and then will be farther back on my side as I go for a more of attrition, slow scenario later on after a big attrition. So really, this is all the examples I have here. Hopefully this gave a little bit more insight. Again, this is really something that's hard to explain because it's really dependent on the terrain, on the scenario, on the lists. So I had to kind of throw in some examples to explain the line of battle. So either way, guys, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, place them down below. I'll do my best to explain further, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.